If you've been on the Roblox platform for some time, you'll probably have heard of, or even played, a lot of roguelike permadeath RPGs. Rogue Lineage and Deepwoken are two prime examples of these kind of games, being very fun, but also quite punishing. However, there's one roguelike Roblox game in the works right now that has the potential to surpass both Rogue Lineage and Deepwoken to become one of the best permadeath RPGs on the platform. And the name of this work-in-progress game is Dishonored Hidden Dynasty. After being given tester access to this game and playing it for a while, I can safely say that it looks pretty great. In this video, I'll be going over what the game has so far, what's to come, and how you can test it yourself. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. When I first entered Dishonored, I was greeted with a pretty great intro screen, and prompted to create a slot. In the character creation menu, you have a wide selection of different clothes, hairstyles, and even shoes to choose from. Similarly to Deepwoken, you can also choose a name from a large list of masculine and feminine names. After all of that though, you're given your race, as well as the option to roll it if you're not satisfied. I ended up with the human race, but there's a wide variety of them in the game, such as Kitsune, Tengu, Angel, and Oni. These races will give different buffs when the game is fully finished, so it'll definitely create a lot of variety in character customization. There is one concerning thing about this though, and it's the possibility that these races turn out like Project Slayer's clans, with some being useless and others being overpowered. However, this is still a work in progress, so this probably won't be an issue. After the character customization screen, you're taken into the game, and right off the bat, it looks phenomenal. The map is simple, but also very visually stunning, and you can tell there was a lot of effort put into building it. Everything from the sliding doors to the roads you walk on look great, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the map turns out when the game is finished. Moving on from the map, let's talk about progression and how it works. In the game, there's a bunch of different weapons with their own unique advantages and disadvantages. For example, the katana is a jack-of-all-trades kind of weapon, being balanced in all categories, while a dagger sacrifices range and damage in exchange for having a lot more speed than other weapons. There's also armors in the game, which look very nice and have unique buffs that complement different builds. So, how do you get these? Well, everything is bought with Ferrum, which is a currency for the game. The currency can be used for buying lots of things, including some special things like the ability to flash step. Ferrum is obtained through quests, which at the moment, there's only one of, being a quest to pick 6 rice for a villager. This is how you basically start off the game, but that of course, isn't all there is to it. Besides Ferrum is your magic, which can be obtained by taking a certain essence, which will all have their own unique quests, to this place and offering it. This, after doing a really cool cutscene, will unlock your magic, though it won't give you any moves just yet. For moves, they're achieved through their own special progression, which will be added later. There is one quest for progression currently out though, and that's the quest to unlock the ability to enchant your weapon. For that, you go over to a certain NPC, get a quest from him to beat his student, and then beat his student up in cold blood. I do like this quest quite a bit though, because unlike most games that make you kill a certain number of things, or literally just grind to a certain level, it gives you a clear and fun goal that you have to actually complete. The boss fight is pretty fun, and because of the game's mechanics, it's actually not too hard to win while using just your base weapon and nothing else. We'll talk about mechanics later though. The rest of progression for magic, which isn't finished yet, will be done by individual trainers for specific magics. Currently, there are 2 magics in the game, Flame and Lightning, which both have unique skills that work great in combat. However, there will definitely be more magics to be made in the future. Of course, progression isn't the only important thing in RPG games, and mechanics are fundamental to the design of a game. That's why I'm glad to say that the mechanics currently in Dishonored, as well as the mechanics that are planned to be put in game, all look fairly solid. First, let's talk about basic M1s and block. M1 strings are your standard 5M1 combos, with the last hit knocking your opponent back. There's a fairly long cooldown on your M1s after you do the whole combo, so you can't just infinite combo someone on a wall. As for blocking, it operates by a system of block health. Usually, your block can take 4 M1s, but will break on the 5th one. That won't be the only way to break block though, as M2s will be added into the game soon. Aside from the normal system of blocking is parrying or perfect blocking. Pretty much everything in this game is capable of being perfect blocked, and if you do get parried, you get the standard effect of being stunned for a long time and being open to a harsh punish. Having every attack in the game be parryable might be an issue, but considering that this game isn't finished yet, we can only really see how it turns out. Movement in this game for the most part is decently smooth. There's your standard walking, sprinting, and dashing. The first two are about what you'd expect from a game. You can double tap W to run, and you go faster. Dashing, on the other hand, is a little varied, as you can either have a flash step type dash, or a normal roll, depending on if you've unlocked the ability or not. Regular dashes are kinda slow. They're okay for moving around, but aren't very maneuverable. Flash step dashes, on the other hand, are very smooth, letting you move around freely while also increasing your speed by a lot. They're amazing for positioning yourself so that you can get to jump on your opponent and hit them, and you unlock it by paying a certain NPC 100 Ferrum. Aside from that are the health bar, stamina bar, and food bar. Your health bar is simple. You run out of it, you get knocked, and you can be executed or carried. As for the stamina bar, it goes down when you dash or use moves, and regenerates over time. You can't use your moves or dash if you don't have enough. Finally, your food bar is a bit different, and is basically just required to heal. You can replenish it by buying food from shops around the map, but if you run out, then good luck. There's also health potions you can buy from these same shops that give you some health back, but it's pretty impractical to use them while in combat because they take a while to actually be used. I like this design as it means that you can't just pop an instant heal in combat, and there's actual punishment for attempting it. Now, most fighting games have a bunch of moves that you can use to fight people with, and here, it's your magic. First, your enchant. Different magics will give your weapons different enchants, such as lightning magic having a chance to make your M1s deal extra stun. Aside from that are your basic moves, which all have their own unique purposes that help out a lot. Some notable ones from lightning magic are static arrows, which is basically just a Cerometrogita, and lightning palm, which is basically Killua's lightning palm from Hunter x Hunter. They all serve their own purpose for combo extending and dealing damage in neutral, with lightning even having an evasive to escape from combos. All of this pairs together to make both PvP and PvE pretty fun and smooth. But there's one last thing I haven't mentioned yet, and that's the permadeath mechanic. Permadeath here works kind of how you'd expect it to in a roguelike game. You have a percentage that's called your life force, and upon each death, you lose a bit of it. If you lose all of your life force, then you wipe, and have to start a completely new character. With that being said, those are all of the mechanics for Dishonored. Now, let's move on to how you can actually play the game yourself. Dishonored Hidden Dynasty is a work in progress game, and because of that, there are still a lot of things that need to be added. Fall damage, a climbing mechanic, more magics, more weapons, rare fruits that replenish from your life force, quests to obtain different essences, and more quests in general are just a few of the things that are in the works right now. The game isn't finished yet, and because of that, it's only available to be played by testers. So, here's how you can gain access to the game. First, you can be a content creator, like I am right now, which requires you to have at least 1,000 subscribers. The second method is to be a staff member, which is pretty much impossible considering they're already full. The third and final method is to join the Patreon and pay for tester access. The Discord will be linked in the description below, so if you're interested in learning more about the game, then feel free to check it out there. Overall, Dishonored appears to be pretty good, at least from my first impression. It has great graphics, pretty nice base mechanics, and the ideas that the developers currently have for how they want to develop the game are very promising. I'm 100% looking forward to seeing how this turns out in the end, and would recommend keeping an eye out for future updates on Dishonored. Now, with that being said, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed watching me review this work in progress Roblox game, then make sure to like and subscribe to see more content from me. It helps out a lot, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Anyways, I'm you eternally, and I'll see you in my next video. Adios!